my god, I read my landlord the riot act. You and your landlord cannot treat me as you like. Are you being racist? And he was like, no, far from that. I said, oh, you think because I'm black I don't know what I'm doing? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a really long time since my last video. Actually, a lot of you have reached out to me asking me if I was okay, and I actually just want to say thank you. I actually really appreciate the fact that people notice that I've not been like here. So guys, reason why I have been AWOL, away without leave, is because my landlord threw me out. Well, not literally, but like my landlord gave me an eviction notice. So this is what happened. One fateful day in September, we're home and we got a mail from council saying they're going to come inspect our apartments, this, that. They just want to see the living condition and all that. And I'm like, okay, it's actually a shared apartment, so like it wasn't like so important to me, you get. So the same mail they sent to us, they also sent it to the landlord and stuff. So on the day they were coming, they said they didn't want to see anybody in the house. They wanted us to all like step out of the house, blah 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 and whatever. So we're outside and they did all their inspections, inspected all the rooms and stuff, and then they like pointed out some repairs and stuff that my landlord was supposed to do. Then when they left, I know they really hit my landlord hard. They hit him hard with questions, but okay. So when they left, my landlord hinted that they said the house was overcrowded, so we might have to downsize. He was like that, but there's no cause for alarm. They're gonna like do a report and send to him, and then he would know what their verdict is. And I'm like, okay. So I honestly wanted to start searching for apartments, but I was like, what if like it's not something that is confirmed? I didn't want to have to give notice and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. So we just chilled, and sometime in October 1 month later, when the whole thing had like gone down, like we didn't expect anything was gonna happen and stuff, but the council actually sent a mail like basically telling us, okay, this is the result of their inspection. The landlord is to make some repairs here, change the fire alarm, this is and all that. There was nothing in the mail about downsizing. And then the landlord comes and tells me verbally that, oh, council has asked them to downsize, says the house is too crowded, like, so people that are like a couple will have to leave. And I'm like, okay. There are like 3 couples in the house. It was an Indian couple and then 2 Nigerian couples. So apparently the 2 Nigerian couples, which is like I and my husband, and then another Nigerian couples, were like the last couples to come, not singles, yeah. It was like he might have to come in and have a chat with us about what's gonna happen and stuff, but there's no cause for alarm. He's gonna so basically we communicate with like a house agent, no house manager, like he manages the house for the landlord, you get. So like we don't really like speak to the landlord directly. So he was like, he's just gonna speak to the landlord and know what's gonna happen, and he'll get back to us. This was like maybe on the 22nd of October. We literally don't hear anything from him. Like I literally did not hear anything from him, but I didn't want anything to like stress me, so I just told my husband, like, see, this is what this guy said, and okay, we started searching for apartments. God, oh my god, like that's when I knew that looking for a house in this country is not easy at all. So obviously we didn't want to go to a shared apartment again, because God, guys, I'm going to tell you guys, shared apartments, oh no, I didn't want to have anything to do with a shared apartment again. So wanted to get like a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom. Okay, wanted to get a 1-bedroom at least, you get. But then the prices of like the 1-bedroom was like let's say add £50 and get a 2-bedroom. Do you understand? So you want to get a studio. Studio is almost the same price as the 1-bedroom, and then maybe 1-bedroom is just like £50 cheaper than the 2-bedroom. So why not just get a 2-bedroom and like have all the space and all that? So I started searching. God, everyone kept saying this is a wrong time to like look for accommodations, because like September intake just came, so there's like a high demand for accommodations, and it was like going to be too expensive and stuff. But all we do now, we're searching. Oh God, like I was literally viewing like 5 houses every week, like at the beginning, you get. So well, I didn't take it seriously, honestly. Let me not lie, I didn't take it seriously at the beginning. Do you understand? Because obviously he said he was going to have a chat, and he'll come and have a chat with him. We don't hear anything from him, you get. But We just started doing our own things. Next thing, on the 28th, I got a mail. I got a text. No, on the 26th, he sent me a message on WhatsApp and he's like, hi, because he calls me Mildred. Because when I told him my name was Tumini, he was like, I don't know, I just hate it when I tell people my name and like I have to tell them my name like 2 or 3 times. So I'm like, what works best for you? Sometimes I tell people, oh, my name is Tutu. Sometimes I say Tumi. Sometimes I say Mildred. Whichever one works for you. So I think Mildred was actually okay with him. So he was like, hi Mildred, just check. Like, hi Mildred, just checking to see that you got my you got our notice on the 22nd of October. It's just basically a one line just telling you about the notice and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't get any notice. In my mind, I'm like, this guy literally did not send a notice, because we had a conversation on the 22nd and you said you were going to get back to me. You never did. So why are you claiming, like, I'm sure maybe they had forgotten, you understand, when they just remember, they're like, oh, let's play this card, you know, that card people play, like, let's say that we sent it now, didn't they see it and all that? And I'm like, no, I didn't see anything. And he was like, oh, they actually sent it. I'm like, I didn't see it. And he was like, oh, no problem, he's going to check back. This was like on the 26th, yeah. I didn't hear anything again. And then on the 28th, he then sent a mail telling me, this is based on council's inspection, this is just a notice telling me that oh my god, like, okay, literally he said my notice started on the 22nd of October, so that he's giving me a 30 days notice from 22nd of October to 22nd of November. And I'm like, okay, I didn't say anything, because I'm like, you're sending me a notice on the 28th of October and you're telling me the notice started on 22nd. Please help me make sense of that. But no problem, I wasn't ready to play that card yet. I was just like stacking up my card, stacking up my money. I was just stacking up all the cards that I was going to play, because like, guys, oh god, I am educated. Like, I did not even come here to like come and count bridge. But no problem, I didn't say anything to him, because I and my husband were already looking for houses and we're already like doing viewing. So the moment I got that mail and everything, like, we intensified our search. You get, like, I'll literally come and view a house, and before I'll like maybe make up my mind, they'll be like, oh sorry, it's already taken. There was a house I went to view and they had 25 people viewing the house. So literally we're viewing in threes, like you get like 3 sets of people. Let's say like my appointment was like 1 o'clock. We had 3 people viewing at 1 o'clock. Like, it wasn't even funny. Like, the demand for houses was like, it was just so much, you understand? So I came to view one particular house. I liked the house. I told the guy, oh, I actually like the house and stuff. He's like, oh, no problem, that the landlord is going to, because that's one annoying thing they do. You finish viewing a house, so you tell them you like it, and they'll be like, oh, no problem, the landlord is going to decide. And I'm like, what's the landlord deciding? But whatever, Sha. So it was like, oh, the landlord is going to decide. I'm like, okay, no problem. So we sent them, because I actually liked the house. That's actually the current house. I mean, I told my husband, like, I like this house. So he's like, yeah, man, let's apply. So we applied, we sent in the application and everything. They said the landlord was going to decide. This was like on a Thursday or Wednesday. They said we're going to get back to us like on Monday. Like Monday morning, 9 o'clock, it was our call that was like opening their office, because we're like, I'm sure they'd have been like, what is wrong with these people? So because we're doing that whole, the landlord will decide, I then like booked another viewing for another apartment, and coincidentally it was also that same letting agency. So they're like, I thought you already applied for an apartment. I'm like, yeah, I already applied, but I can't put all my eggs in one basket, because you keep telling me the landlord will decide, and I desperately need a house. Like, I need a house. So like, oh, okay, sorry, there's really nothing we can do. I'm like, oh, whatever, man. So when I came for the second viewing, it was still the same guy that basically I viewed the first house with. Do you understand? Like, with the same letting agency. So he's like, why are you viewing this house? Like, and I'm like, I need a house. Like, I'm like, like, I kind of like, I just opened up to him, and I'm like, see, this was happening. My landlord has asked me to leave my current accommodation. I think this was on the 15th of November. So I was like, my landlord has given me a notice that expires on the 22nd of November, and I have to leave because he said council is going to fine him if I don't leave, blah blah blah, and all that kind of thing. I'm a student, this is really stressful on me, this and that. And like literally, when I spoke to the guy, I could actually see compassion in his eyes. Like, he was like, oh my god. So like, okay, you know what, no problem, when I get back to the office, I'm just going to check what's going on and blah 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 and all that. And I was like, okay, no problem, I'll really appreciate that. So that's how I got the house, you know. So again, so they had to now start their referencing check, all their processes. They would like send like a mail or a link to my landlord, that's my house manager, whatever he is, to fill in, like, you know, good behavior and or whatever. So the guy came into the apartment the following day. That's after we had done this application. He came in the following day. So yeah, guys, another thing was that he gave me the notice on the 28th, and my rent was supposed to expire on the 10th of November. So I said I can't pay a full month's rent because it makes no sense to me. Like, if I pay a full month's rent, I was paying 575. If I pay a full month's rent on the 10th of November, do you want me to actually leave on the 22nd of November? And if I'm leaving on the 22nd of November, I have to still pay a full month's rent in the new apartment I'm going to and deposit, and you also have my deposit. So like it's not feasible. I don't have that kind of money. This is impromptu and stuff. And the guy was acting understanding. He was like, yeah, I understand you, I feel you, don't worry, I'm gonna talk to the landlord, I'm gonna see what he's gonna do, blah blah blah. And I'm like, maybe this one has sense. Like, that's literally what I thought. And then my husband spoke to him and he was like, could you ask the landlord if he's going to give us like some grace period, like if maybe rent expires on the 10th and we leave on the 17th, maybe is he going to like waive like 1 week's rent? You get that kind of stuff. Like, we literally had this kind of conversations with this guy. The guy was like, like he was listening. Like, in short, he was looking at us and we felt like he was listening. So the guy said he's going to get back to us. He's going to discuss with the landlord and he will get back to us. So our rent expires on the 10th and we don't pay because we're still expecting his feedback. We're still expecting him to get back to us, and he doesn't say anything. We also don't say anything because we're actively searching. Like, we're really hoping we're going to leave before the 10th, but it just didn't work. So we're still there till like 15th or 17th, you get. So then he comes into the apartment on the 18th of November. I can never forget. And I was home that day. So I came into the living room. I met him there and I was like, hi, what's up? You're yet to get back to us on like what the landlord has decided and stuff, you get. And he's like, yeah, so the landlord is not willing to give any grace period. And I'm like, okay. He said because rent has not been paid, our rent expires on the 10th and we haven't paid, blah 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 and all that. And I'm like, you're the same person we had this conversation with and we told you what to ask the landlord and you never go back to us. He was like, yeah, that the landlord just go back to him today. I'm like, so the landlord cannot just get back to you today and tell you that because we've not paid rent, because we asked this question even before our rent expired. So I was like, oh my god, like I was gutted, like I was so irritated. I was like, okay. So it's like, so the landlord said he's going to have to involve third parties, he's going to have to like involve insurance and stuff because rent has not been paid, so it's now like a different ball game. I stopped him and I said, wait, hold it right there. Just like stop it there. Like let me cut you short. Hey God, I read my landlord the Riot Act. I told him, I said, do you think I don't know what I'm doing here in the UK? I said, do you know I have rights to live, right to rent, right to work? I have every right to do anything I want to do in this country. So you and your landlord cannot talk to me how you want. You and your landlord cannot treat me as you like. Are you being racist? And he was like, no, far from that. I said, oh, you think because I'm black, I don't know what I'm doing? You think because I'm black, I don't know what the rules of this country says? I said, this country is a country that is well regulated. Do you understand? Like, the laws work in this country, so you can't just tell me that. I said, let me tell you something. I'm an international student. I paid £15,000 yearly. That's what I paid for my school fees. That's what I told him. I said, do you know how much value the UK government places on international students? In case you don't know, let me educate you. Hey God, like Jesus Christ. Guys, this guy, like since I moved into the apartment, he had never heard me speak like that. I had never spoken to him in that tone. It was just me all laughing. Like, this guy literally, like, he sat down and was just looking at me like he was scared. Like, at some point he even had to go back. He told me if I was going to hit him. I'm like, guys, I'm not violent. Why would I hit you? Like, no violence here, you get. So I told him, I said, do you know how much value the UK government places on international students? I said, do you know how much money international students bring into this country every year? I said, look, let me tell you something. The UK government, when I was applying for my visa, they told me that I'm going to be spending an estimate of £1,027. I said, do you want me to report to the landlord that he's asking me to spend £2,000 in a month? I said, because you have my rent of £575, I'm going to go and pay rent of at least £600, and I'm going to pay deposit. So deposit and rent is like 1,200, or let me just say 1,500, and then plus extra 500, that's £2,000. I said, do you want me to report that you're trying to tell me to spend £2,000? Where do you want me to get that money from? Are you asking me to work more than 20 hours when the government has instructed me to only work for 20 hours? Do you know what I earn when I work for 20 hours? Hey, Jesus Christ. So like, I told him, I said, that's one. Two, Do you know that the law states that as at 1st of October 2021, landlords are supposed to give their tenants 2 months notice? I said, do you know you're breaking the law by giving me a 3 weeks notice? I said, do you want me to call citizens advice? I said, look, during the COVID, landlords had to give their tenants 4 months notice. When the COVID went down, it reduced to 3 months. And before the COVID, and well, there's still COVID, but like before the COVID, it was like 2 months. So it's now back to normal. You get, so it's 2 months. And then, so you have a letting agency and you don't know what the rules are. You don't know what the law. I was like, yeah, it's a council. I'm like, council works for the government. So are you trying to say the council is asking you to break the law? He was like, well, that no, he does not. Okay, like he actually didn't see it from this light. I'm like, okay, well, start seeing it from this light. I told him, I said, well, which letter did the council even send to you telling you to downsize? He said that they didn't even send him a letter, that they called him. And I'm like, what are you saying? I said, because the same letter you received when the council was coming to do the inspection, the same letter we received. After the inspection, we also received a letter, and I'm sure that's the same letter you received. So nowhere on the letter said that you guys should downsize. So why are you putting it on the council? He was like, yeah, council called them and told them verbally. And I'm like, why would the council call you and tell you verbally that you need to downsize? I said, look, the fact that you asked me to leave and I'm leaving, it doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Do you understand? Like when I was done with this guy, I told him, I said, look, if I get any mail from any third party, any insurance or anything, you're going to be hearing from my school. Because my school has a department that is set out for illegal landlord practices. So if you want me to involve them, I said, in fact, after this conversation, I'm going to send them an email. Guys, like, when I was done with him, it was not like that, okay, he's just gonna take everything we've said to the landlord and then he's gonna get back to us, blah, 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 and all that. I'm like, yeah, do that. Like, this time, actually, have the conversation with him and let me know, because I'm tired of all this back and forth. Like, this thing is messing with my mental health. Like, this country, they don't joke with mental health. Guys, that was it. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I was actually raising my voice when I was speaking to him, because I was so angry, I was so gutted. Like, as in, I had like, I'd had it up to here, like, and I literally like stacked up those cards for him. Like, I was like waiting for him to just come and like tell me like all those kind of things. So what else? So he left, and then the next day he came back and he was like, and I told him, I said, you have my deposits, yeah, so why can't you guys, like, why are you bothered about 1 month rent when you have my deposit? When I want to leave, you can just take out like what I like spend. And he was like, okay, he'll discuss with the landlord and stuff. And then he came in and was like, so the landlord is saying that if he has to take out money from our deposit, then he's going to have to give us a CCJ, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh god, that the landlord is actually really caring. He doesn't want us to have any legal issues, doesn't want us to have any issues, because he has seen that we are good people. He was just talking rubbish. And I was like, okay, no problem, cool story, bro. So I told my husband, I was like, I'm tired of all this, back and forth. Like, it's not like we didn't have the money, but it just, like, I didn't want anybody to toss us around. So I was like, you know what, we stayed extra 10 days, we're going to pay 10 days rent. So like on the 20th, we paid like rent for 10 days, you get. And it was not like that he's going to talk to the landlord, that he's going to tell the landlord that we are moving out in 3 days, so the landlord can just waive out 3 days rent for us, and even if we don't move out the remaining days, he can cover up for us. This was literally what he told us, you get. And he not even said that. And I told him, I said, look, this whole moving thing is actually really stressful, because we have to now buy things, because the house is unfurnished, so we have to buy a bed, we have to buy a fridge. He was like, oh yeah, he has a fridge, like he has a fridge freezer that someone used it to, like, I think give him a payment or whatever, that is just in his garage, he could give it to us. And I'm like, you're gonna give me a fridge freezer? He's like, yeah, I don't mind. And I'm like, okay. I said, why are you being nice to me? And he was like, no, nothing, like he's not using it, so he's just gonna give it to me. And I'm like, okay, no worries, so I'm just gonna take that off, but whatever, I still need like money for stuff and whatever. So when it came, we paid the 10 days rent and stuff. We're able to move out in like 5 days. Like, we're able to move out like the following Friday and stuff. They said they're going to help us move. When it was time to move, I told them like, okay guys, we want to move on to them. I'm like, so we're actually busy. Like, those guys were full of stories, were so unreliable. Like, they'll tell you one thing now and the next second they are telling you another thing, or they're not like keeping to their words. Like, oh god, like, I didn't have a very good experience there, but actually appreciate the fact that it was my first like apartment in the UK. I learned a lot of things, and like a lot of things came easy, because now that I'm here, when I think of like bills I'm gonna pay and stuff, like it actually scares me. But like the other house, it was like bill inclusive, so we could like run the heating from morning to night without like fear of views and stuff. So guys, that's the reason why I've been AWOL. That's the reason why I haven't like made videos and stuff, because I spent like almost a month looking for an apartment, and when I found one, it was like really stressful, having to move, having to buy stuff, and I still had schoolwork. I had like so I'm doing this boot camp on data analysis and project management. I'm just, like, I heard that like data analysts, not ahead, I know that data analysts are like in demand in the UK as much as project managers. So I just want to like add the two, so like if I have the two, like, I'm just gonna be out there. And I'm trying to learn how to code, guys. Like, so I'm learning Python. I don't know, I'm just learning to code, text is loading and stuff. So that's practically what I've been up to. So right now I'm in my new apartment. I'll probably do a house tour one day, someday, but not now. It's actually a really nice place. I moved from Salford to Bolton, and Bolton is actually really, really cold because it's like up north. Yeah, and it rains almost every day in Bolton, but the weather is good today. I think it's about 6 degrees. Yeah. So guys, that's about it. Thank you very much for watching, and that's why I've been able. I really, really appreciate everyone that reached out to me, everyone that like sent me messages on Instagram, Twitter. Someone even reached out to me on LinkedIn. Oh my god, like I was like, wow. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.